Hello guys, today we are going to see what is web development and what is the things related to it. So let's jump into the video. As the name suggests, web development means we have to develop something which is understandable by web and which should be displayable by web. Uh, so yeah, in web development we got two main components. One is front end, second one is backend. First is front end, and as the name suggests, front end means the things that is in front of us, that is visible to us. And for example, let's say, yeah, I have opened the page, and uh, the things we can see in front of us, our eyes, and we can interact with all the contents of this page. So this is what front end exactly means it is in front of our eyes. We can read the text, we can interact with the buttons, and we can interact with this page basically. So this is what front end means. Front end got three main component, and first one is HTML, and which stands for hypertext markup language, and second one is CSS, which is cascading style sheet. Third one is JavaScript. So what exactly is HTML and what is the need of it? Means obviously somehow it must have started, and what is the requirement and for which HTML is started. Okay, so let's just uh, go through the history of HTML. Okay, so if I'm correct, there is one organization that is called Sun, and it is obviously, I think, US based organization, something related to research. And there obviously research means scientists are involved, and scientists has to document their research papers and everything, their findings and all, and maintaining of that documents is really hard. Like obviously in paper based, like the old school based documentation is really hard, and as we know, that is the time when world is progressing and it is going towards the technology era. So there one scientist called Tim Berners-Lee who came up with this idea of hypertext markup language. So what is hypertext markup language? Okay, if I write a basic HTML, it looks like this is the opening tag, this is the closing tag, and here inside this we got head and body. Okay, and I'm going little bit fast here because uh, if you want more details regarding like how HTML, like what are the syntax of HTML and what are all the tags, you can go to Geeks for Geeks and you can go through all the contents. But the main purpose of mine is just to give some feel regarding HTML, CSS, JavaScript, and what are the need of it and how it came into picture. Okay, so today my focus is on HTML only. Okay, the main focus. So here if you see, so obviously somehow in my previous video I think I have said that we why programming language exists. Programming language exists because there is a need, that there is a requirement of mediator basically between us and computer. Same, there is a requirement of mediator between us and web page. One language or something should be there that should be understandable by us as well as web page. So that's where HTML came into picture. Okay, and in HTML also, if you see hypertext, what does hypertext means? Hypertext means it is like a hyperlink. Like let's say we are in a web page and we have to go to other web page. So obviously this is a web page, and if we are clicking somewhere, then if you see the URL got changed and we have redirected to another page. So this is what hyperlink means the relation between a page to page. Let's say this is page 1 and this is page 2, and there should be some link between page 1 to page 2 which we should be navigating, and this is what hypertext and hyperlink exactly means. Okay, and it is denoted by a anchor tag, and where we can have the link of the destination. This is what hypertext means. And markup language means obviously we are writing HTML, this is opening and this is closing, means whatever inside this is our like HTML content, and if head is there, opening and closing means whatever inside this head is our content of the head, and whatever inside this body is the content of the body. So that's how browser understands that okay, if something is inside head means I have to display it as a head part in my like page, and if something is inside body means I have to display it inside my body. So basic idea is that what Tim Berners-Lee may be thought at that time is scientists have to manage their documents, have to toggle between pages and pages. Let's say if we are writing a thesis on a, let's say, variety of cockroaches, okay, so we got some information regarding it, whatever we can say, like a group of cockroaches, and there must be some hierarchical order, like there must be some links between the findings of cockroaches and other insects. So there must be some links. So in older ways, in traditional old school way, what we can do, we can have some document piled up, like this cockroaches one and this cockroaches two, let's say. And in old school we can have bundle that together, but how to do that in tech and how to do that in web pages? So we must like there is need arises of linking between two pages, and that's what hyperlink does. Hyperlink does. So this where exactly the need came and HTML was born. So if you need more details, anyway, you can go to Wikipedia and you can have these details. But why I have just described and explained this means, obviously we are in a hurry and we don't want to focus on these basic things. But uh, my process is little bit different. Uh, if we have to start something, then curiosity should be there, that from where that thing is started. Like if you don't have curiosity from where internet started, then I don't think you have the right to use the internet. So we must have the curiosity. Okay, so that's why I have just explained what is HTML and what is CSS. I'm not going in deep, but okay, HTML is there. Like we can see here what it does is there are some contents inside header, there are some content inside body, and this is the HTML. Okay, so let's say if we have written a HTML and in our browser it has displayed the text like this head one, and inside the the body contents are there, and let's say in the body content something like body one dot dot dot, and some contents is there inside this body. Okay, so in today's world, if we can see the web pages, how like it is aligned and how it is looking. If you see this is bolder text, and this is, you can see a little bit lighter than the header text, and here you can see some colors are there, and here some different colors, some images are there, and if you can see, yeah, so basically this is what CSS exactly means. So if you want to have some basic feel, so you can anyway go to inspect tab. Okay, and what is the process to go to inspect tab? You have to just click right click and go to inspect tab, else just click F12. Okay, so in inspect tab you can anyway just click on this selector and you can go on any element, and you can see here, you can see this HTML. Inside HTML head is there, body is there, inside body our total, like this is what markup means. Okay, so this some advanced level, like if you are starting up, you can just go to Geeks for Geeks and get started with HTML. I'm just giving you the basic feel. Okay, so here you can see I've just selected this element. So now let's say I'm writing color red, so you can see color changes to red. Okay, so this is what CSS means to give this little bit style, to align the text, to align the content properly in the web page. CSS is used. JavaScript, so JavaScript is a never ending story. Okay, so why I'm laughing, I think if you are new, then you are going to understand in 1 or 2 years, and if you are already a working professional, then I can assume that you are also laughing with me. Okay, because JavaScript is like a mad girlfriend. Okay, we cannot understand it. Okay, so what JavaScript does, if you see, if I'm clicking on this button, basically I'm trying to interact with this page. So this comment section got open. So this is what JavaScript means we can interact with the page, and for interacting with the page, JavaScript came into picture. Okay, so basically HTML means skeleton, and CSS means the styling. Yeah, writing pad sucks, but I'm good at that. Anyway, and JavaScript means it is just giving an instruction that hands up means this guy has to raise his hand, okay. And if JavaScript is saying there is a ball, kick that ball, this guy has to kick the ball. So basically this is the idea, that HTML is the basic skeleton, CSS is the styling of that skeleton, and JavaScript is to enable that skeleton to do some action and basically interacting with that skeleton. So this is what the basics of web development, and I can assume that anyone in the first year or second year in the college must be knowing HTML, CSS, and JavaScript, at least the basics. And working professional, I think this is the must in today's date. At least have the basic idea, because that's what we are interacting with the web pages, and this is what building blocks of web pages. So we must learn this, or we must have some basic idea at least, because without this we are nothing, okay. And just one guy is feeling bad, that is backend. Actually I have written that but I forgot. But what is backend means, at least you can see now, we got the page, we got the styles for the page, we are interacting with the page, but somehow we are getting this page from somewhere now. Obviously in our computer this page is not there, we are connected to internet and we are getting this page from somewhere, and we are getting the data inside the page from somewhere. So here comes the guy that is called backend, okay. This is someone who sits in the backend that is not visible to us. Front end is visible to us when we are interacting with the front end. Basically under the hood it is talking with backend. This is our screen, and let's say this is somewhere backend server is there, we have connected via internet, and whatever we are demanding, we are requesting, basically we are getting it back as a response from backend. And that's what uh, and that's how like communication between front end and backend happens, okay. We request something, we get from backend, and we used to display that in our front end. So front end and backend, they got connected, and they both together makes a web solution. This is just a curtain riser, but I'm going to discuss some of the web development concepts which I have learned in these 2-3 years of my web development career. So yeah, bye.